Faye. Dynasty Stadium, here to slay. Villagers in TC, Steel Scout sheepies, English weepies, make you go sleepies. Coordinate, dominate, terminate, eliminate. Rule like an emperor, exterminate your fate. You're inferior, chop down your forest. This is the chorus. I'm the Macedonian Chuck Norris. Coordinate, dominate, terminate, eliminate. Rule like an emperor, exterminate your fate. You're inferior, chop down your forest. This is the chorus. I'm the Macedonian Chuck Norris.
Ramen bowl, time to feast. Sushi rolls, Abbasid seas. Kura storehouse, here we go. Villagers arrayed, arigato. Shinobi hidden jutsu cast. Russian's curses, domain expansion blast. One punch you give you anxiety. Bankai release, send you to the soul society. Fatal starts have no guilt. Spearmon rush, rams built, economy bloom. Byzantines crying sealed their doom. I keep.
Tuchlak dynasty selected, civilization perfected, loading screen spin, wrap up begin. Army production, elephant destruction. I'm just faster. Call me your Jedi Master. Enemy drama, put you in a coma, give you blisters, hide your workers. Hide your workers. Bring the dynasty, rushing ecstasy, French types and banters, give him elephant raiders.
Guys, my roadcaster just decided to stop working the moment we switched Discord calls. So I'm gonna restart that bad boy, but we're gonna use my headset mic to survive, because that is how things roll. So Ben, let's test you and see how things are going.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, fingers crossed we got something working to start with. We were doing so well there for a moment.
We were.
I think I'm all
Oh.
good.
Okay, great. So we do have at least most of this situation working, but you guys, you're gonna need to suffer with my microphone for now until we get the show on the road properly. But ladies and gentlemen, we have our first matchup in here, and we can see that this is a stacked one. Bee and Lyra facing off against Puppy Shine on the other side. Now,
All right, wait a minute. I do think your headset microphone is cutting in and out a little bit.
oh
We
no.
might need to get that fixed properly.
Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. Let's. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now it's fine. All right, guys, the moment I wanted to do things properly, here we go. Always, always trouble, but this is on me. I'll get it fixed. Ladies and gents, let's hop into game and see how things go as we run into game number 1 to, see how these guys are going to be matching up against one another. Let's go on in.
All right, first game. Super exciting. Are we okay technology-wise?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're okay technology-wise. It did have a slow start there. We needed a moment to warm up, I think.
All right, so we're into it now. First game of the day, first set of the day. Puppy Paw and Deep Shine in the classic French and English in the different shades of blue. And then we've got B as the Roos in the green and Lyra accompanying him in the very fitting yellow for the Ayubit, I should say. Loading up on Dry Arabia, it looks like. We've got Dry Arabia, Gorge, and Himiyama, I believe, as our maps. Sorry, technology's still working there. I think I'm all good. I just had a bit of a hiccup to myself, but I think we're back into it. Yeah, coming into it nice and strong. Classic sort of matchup with French and English on one of our sides, and then a little bit different with Roos and Ayubid, but still two very strong team game civs with, of course, the Horse Archer Mass and the Camels, which do so well into an even more cavalry-centric meta in our 2v2s compared to even our 1v1s.
Now, yesterday we did see a little bit of a different level of play from these players. We've seen quite a few council halls, which honestly I was so surprised about, but really, really happy to see. The fact that Council Hall is making a bit of a comeback, it feels good, and especially when Deep Shine is the one driving it. Now, I am speeding up so we can get to the live game, guys, because we do have a little fun technology thing to do here and there to make sure that the show stays and goes really, really well. But Puppy Paw, he's out here with that first knight, gonna be looking at landing that first bit of damage. Gamba is up, thank you Tommy, making sure that Twitch chat will be addicted yet again. Now, Lyra, she's playing a pretty standard build we've been seeing from every single Ayubit player. Ayubits has been going constantly, just getting the double dervish, but what makes it a bit different here is she's not going for a fast castle. The fast castles have been struggling for most of this series.
It's a really strong strat that you see a lot of top players use in team games, particularly 2v2, but it works further than that too, which is still going into the dervish for a Ayubid, but it's there to help support your teammate to succeed in what they're looking to do, rather than looking to rush up to castle yourself. Of course, in this case, it's a little bit different where we've got longbows coming across the map rather than that king with the knights. And we see B with the classic Roos Pro Scouts. An interesting way in how that works in team games with Pro Scouts is you can Pro Scout for your teammate as well. But in this case, it very much looks like, I think ideally, is that B is the one that's going to look to get to castle and mass those Horse Archers. But that's looking down the line. You really have to worry about surviving against a classic French-English knight longbow push, which feels like I'm going all the way back to season 1 here.
Yeah, this is one of those nice little compositions that it provides a lot of non-stop action. And we do see those Roos Knights coming out, going to be trying to fight against these French Knights. But the problem with French Knights is they are able to heal up. Now, there is another little card here because Lyra, of course, is on the dervishes, so she'll be able to heal up the Knights of Roos if they do get a bit low. But Pro Scouts, Puppy Paw is trying to deny as much as he can out of this, and not really too successful just yet. Deep Shine using those longbows as much as she can to just stop her from getting any wood. And Lyra, it's definitely working against her. This English aggression with the Knight support, it's proving a little bit difficult.
One of the things that we see a lot in 1v1s with the current meta is about securing food. And in 2v2s, it can be even more of the case. We see a little bit of engagement here onto the longbows. Where are the knights to support this? With the spears attacking longbows with a couple of knights and doing well pushing back. you can see the in-combat healing from the dervishes is insane. But here are the knights here on the other side, still denying the pro scouts. Looks like we did kill a scout there, and it's now diving under the TC with 13 villagers in. That actually is going to do a lot of damage to those knights, and that scout goes down, and that knight is going to go down as well. That's a lot of damage against Puppy Paw. When those knights are going to be really the mass of them is so important in this sort of composition and this extended feudal play.
Now, you can see those two knight groups, they did split apart to try do a bit of damage, and damage they found. With the villager count, you can clearly see that Lyra has suffered some casualties, but B, there's a little bit of idle time that got out of him. But, of course, now Puppy Paw is the one who's a little bit under pressure, with Deepshine losing most of the longbows in that last fight. This is not a fun engagement for anyone, even if your knights do have the ability to heal. Now, Lyra is behind this, going for archers, doing a little bit of a different tech switch here. And Lyra putting that tower down, she knows the importance of getting control of the gold again. She doesn't have a backwards gold she gets to fall back on. This is the only one she's going to have access to for now, because the other one is even more exposed. But Deepshine, she's got her eyes set on keeping this going. With the longbow numbers increasing, this is pretty scary for anyone.
Yeah, the army of Deepshine and Puppy Paw, as you'd expect it to be, with French knights and longbows to be very dangerous and deadly. That tower coming up to secure the gold is obviously going to be helpful in that regard, but against longbows and knights, towers aren't as effective as they would be against normal versions of either of those units. And with the only now really getting onto the gold, or maybe catching a spearman here, but there are plenty of spearmen behind, and Lyra going into archers as well behind this, really looking to secure herself and secure her gold. But this is a big mess outside, and it looks like no sign of slowing down from Deepshine and Puppy Paw. They want to get damage done now, whereas B and Lyra, it is at this point a matter of trying to hold on against this French-English aggression.
Now, you want to ask yourself, what are they holding on to? Of course, you get a pretty scary composition here with the Aerobids if you have your Dervish healing, but the problem is the numbers are not all there. We do see some pings across the map as B is raiding a bit of Deepshine's base, but from yesterday's games, we saw that Deepshine is very willing to lose every single villager in her army or in her civilization, but then come back pretty quickly. The Knights from B, though, this is a pretty heavy engagement, as they did get a good position here, but the French Knights, they pack quite a punch.
Well, the dervishes coming forward, they're going to get picked off by the longbows. That's a lot of damage that comes out of longbows, and they're both down. That's a huge for both Lyra and B, because that stops B's knights being able to be healed up as well. And then the tower looks like it's going to go down as well. The French knights in English, it's been the strategy since day one in Age of Empires 4. It is particularly for 2v2s, and it looks to be doing the damage here now. Obviously, French do have a bit of a villager lead, and that they produce villagers faster, but we're seeing villagers go down as well. And it's looking a little bit tough to sort of hold on in Feudal Age 4B and Lyra. Still taking engagements, but none of these engagements are looking particularly favorable for them. It's not the French knights that are going down. The longbow mass is still surviving against those archers, and it's looking worse and worse there as they flee from their engagement right outside of Lyra's base.
And now with the gold being completely denied, this does put them in a pretty tough position to be able to handle any type of aggression from here on out. Now, behind all of this, we have to keep in mind, they are busy communicating and making plans as this game goes along. And that's exactly what we're going to go and listen in on. Lyra and B, guys, let's see what they're cooking. Oh, I say that, and the moment I unmute myself in the Discord channel, I hear absolute silence. Right now, just focused on what they need to get. But the moment they do talk, oh, never mind. They are
Be
just...
careful with French knights. Do you have enough army? Yeah, okay.
Be just aware of what could be landing.
That's it.
That's it.
Be
That is-
careful with French knights. Yeah, I mean, it's good advice. I'm surprised, honestly. I'll tell you what, it's calm play. I might be panicking if I was in this situation, but it's calm play.
That's what you
Just
survive.
don't die to the
And the TC
Knight mass,
that's good.
and I think
Some
B
knights
is
at
taking a little bit of
Reds.
confidence here.
I'm going to Deers.
Now, you can hear that B is still strategizing
I think
quite
yeah,
a bit.
they're coming both of them actually.
Mm-hmm.
I
And-
see the longbows.
Lyra knows it's imminent. The big mass is going her way. B has a different idea though. He is going to land elsewhere. But this is going to be a pretty massive set of
still
damage he's going to
spamming
need to
on
do
the
to
knights.
make this work. So let's keep an eye on both armies and see how they end up doing. Now, let's hop over to the other side and see what Papipo and Deepshine have cooking.
Okay.
Ready to attack.
So Beast next to at your base.
Yeah, I think I got underneath though.
Okay, he has 13 in PC. And this AD should die.
Now, communication seems to stay only to the
Okay,
necessary
coming on the
things.
left.
Yeah.
Those longbows.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that there's not more. There's 8 villas in this tower about to go down, and we've got near silence here, and we do have the engagement. The knights around the back, lovely from B, but Puppy Paw does a great job to get out there and support the archers against the longbows against them. Spears fighting the longbows rather than the knights, but the knight count for both players isn't that big, but there's still plenty of longbows from Deepshine, picking up exactly where she left off yesterday with a great performance. But now I think B's knights are coming through with Puppy Paw's rest of his knights not there. All of a sudden we do have B's knights cleaning up, chomping away on these longbows. Finally.
Now, the knights might be dead, but you have to keep in mind there's a bigger issue here. Lyra is bleeding villagers. Behind it, it just feels like the economy of Papipo has completely exploded. Now doing a little bit of a farm transition as well. So Papipo, being the aggressor, constantly picking up all these vills, this is starting to stack up. Puppy feeling pretty confident about this, and Deepshine taking a little note there from Puppy's brother, building every single wall that can stop a raid from B coming in, because that is how they can make a comeback.
Every English player's frustration, right? Especially in team games where you're the one running around with these really slow longbows, trying to go from base to base, find damage, find your teammates' knights to keep yourself protected, but ultimately you're the one that's slow and needing to wall up to keep yourself safe from those raids, which B is really looking to do. Something he's done a great job of in this game is like, oh crap, we're getting pushed in. How can I try to let up some of this pressure? And raiding on the other side is a great way of doing that. But Puppy's knight count still is scary. The longbow count still is scary. But B's doing a great job of bringing that up. And Deepshine, behind all that, even with that longbow army out there searching for damage, has macroed up to castle. And now we see King's Palace being placed down.
And King's Palace is an interesting take here, because of course with King's Palace you get ahead economically, but it does take a while. For those two, they already know they did the damage they needed to do. No big tower, no white tower is going to need to support this army, because Deepshine with the English, she is not too worried about moving out and finding the damage herself while just slowly stacking up. Papipo with these French knights, we see still finding damage. And Lyra is suffering behind this, now down to 44 villagers. She is miles behind. B still trying to find some level of engagement, but these knights from Papipo, they just keep healing up themselves. And this is not a constant engagement you can take. The thing is, if B lands an attack, it needs to work.
I'm interested here to see what Deepshine uses this castle age to do. Obviously, relics on the map is going to be one way that they can get an advantage here, but it's not like Deepshine is going to... Oh, no, she is opting to go straight into those knights. Must have got some stables up with that wood float, but looking to join her French brother in making knights and lots of them. But still looks to be also producing longbows out of that council hall. So we're going to see Knight Archer from Deepshine herself accompanying Puppy's French feudal knights, which may as well be castle knights themselves, to be honest with you. But it really does look to be a question of economy. The King's Palace coming up, it's going to be an extra TC for Deepshine Puppy Paw's side, while already having that eco advantage. We don't have all the eco stats playing or seeing through the team UI, but we can see that B and Deepshine sort of in similar vill counts before she went up. Whereas Puppy and Lyra, obviously a big difference there with the damage that Lyra has taken and Puppy's increased villager production being the French. It's only going to climb now for Puppy and Deepshine. But the next thing on the menu for Lyra is finally a UBID getting that castle, as all UBID players want to go, and it looks like we're going for
Master Smiths.
the Smiths.
Now, see, this is not something I think most of us sit here and predict. You have to take a quick look at where the blacksmith is, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this is something that she is just planning to get eventually, because for her, she needs a lot of free resources. And with the Master Smiths, you do get that, but you do need to get your first level upgrades already. And that still feels a far ways away. Now, Deepshine and Puppy Paw, Royal Institute coming in, and this is something we don't usually see in 1v1s anymore, but this is a team game. Puppy Paw, he says, I've got enough knights, I'm going to get even more, and this is going to be worth it. B as well. Him getting the high trade house, his age up is going to take a little bit longer, and the fight here might just be a little bit scary for him.
Okay, so B's landmark kind of boring. It's what we expected, but very exciting. A Puppy Paw with the Royal Institute and Lyra going for the Master Smith says, actually, we want to fight now, and we want to fight the strongest we possibly can. This is a team game with walls coming in, but we're not looking to go for 50 minutes. We want to get an advantage now if we can. And the blacksmith coming in, there we go. We will see the upgrades come through, and then the second level come through automatically, cheaply, or for free and instantly. Royal Bloodlines coming out straight away from Puppy Paw. Good macro there to have that out right away. And also taking or macroing into the keep, which Puppy Paw, I believe, just had enough stone for, which should be coming in his base, which means that we should have some very strong castle armies coming out after a period of posturing and looking for a little bit of damage. We now get fully fledged castle armies from each of our 4 players.
Now, with all those spears, you still don't want to run right into them, and Deepshine is staying on making a few longbows definitely is going to bode quite well for them. But again, we do see the army is quite far away, so even this mobility that she doesn't have with those longbows, she needs to be careful. There are the handful of horses on her side too, but the spears extending a little bit too far forward. Knights now going to be looking for a decent fight, but she does need to be careful. Those knights are scary, and when they get on top, we do see the spears all the way mixed in between, but it doesn't look like they are actually connecting too hard onto these knights.
This is a really tough fight for B and Lyra. I think Royal Bloodlines just came in recently as well, and the longbows are chewing up everything, knights included. The spear count is next to nothing now, so Puppy Paw's knights are running rampant, pushing everything back. That was a huge loss for B and Lyra. And we don't see a single camel in the mix either. From that castle transition, still sticking on Spearman and Archer from Lyra, and now Puppy. The knights are splitting off, doing damage, and that's it. That battle was enough. Running over French and English, it's just like we've seen for 4 or 5 years now. Knights and longbows doing the trick.
Knights and longbows have been a killer 2v2 composition for such a long time, and Deepshine and Puppy Paw showed us exactly that. B and Lyra, they're going to need to find something a little different to punish their opponents. But of course, you just got a massive composition out of your enemy. They lost French and they lost English. So these civilizations are not going to see the light of day again. But going out from here, they need to find a way to outboom and outdo their opponents. Now, looking at the rankings of these guys, B and Puppy Paw, pretty similarly ranked. Lyra no longer plays 1v1s as much, so she hasn't had the opportunity to really stack up against someone like Deepshine. Well, Deepshine, she's been a scary lady in all of these matches. But guys, let's hop on in over to our lobby and take a quick look at exactly what's waiting for us in the next round. Now, of course, drafting will begin pretty soon, but here you can see a little bit of a look on who these teams are, what they look like, and which countries they represent. I just love the fact that France and Russia's flag is just like a little mix mash. And as a South
You just
African,
mirrored it, right? You didn't. That's not even a separate picture. Yeah, yeah.
That's the beauty of Europe. I feel like the rest of the world, we kind of got creative with our flags, and then you come to Europe and you're like, everything is kind of just a variant of the other one. But let's take a quick listen and hear how Papipo and Deepshine are strategizing for this next round. In complete silence, again, just sitting there, not saying a single word in this channel. I love this. It's
We could
absolutely.
do maybe
Ooh.
Rus Ayubids or Japan Bears or Sengoku Bears or something like that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. I'll do one of those comps then. If we go Rus Ayubids, I'll go Horse Archers or something. I don't know. Both of, yeah, all that works.
Oh, I can't believe they're doing it.
Wow.
Horse archers. That would be something.
Into the minds.
And horse
Into
archers
the minds of a pro player.
getting that coaching at the top here. And let's hop in and hear what Lyra and B have to say. 1 second.
And having Jeanne d'Arc isn't possible for now because I mean I can play Templar, but it's not my best civ at all. So
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
if we lose this one, then there will not be any third game. So I don't know.
I will try to give you Jean, but it's just about Papipo because he will take
Yeah,
it
he'll
again
pick it
for
anyway,
sure.
I guess.
So we'll stream you.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting? So be very much cautious, and Lyra cautious about the Jeanne d'Arc pick. Puppy Paw not thinking about it at all. In fact, Puppy Paw, I don't know, has put that much thought into it at all. Full stop. A couple of comps there. Like, does this sound good? Yeah, I think this sounds all right. We'll just go for one of those, eh? Which is fantastic to see. Maybe confidence, maybe nonchalance. I'm not sure. But definitely a bit more strategizing coming out of B and Lyra. Understandable when you're a game down and it is a best of 3.
yeah. These games yesterday, they went a long time. A lot of these guys and ladies, they were playing their hearts out, and we saw a different side out of every one of them. In a lot of these cases, we know the pro players as being this or that style of player with a teammate that is a little bit imbalanced in a lot of ways. They do have to switch this up quite a bit because, of course, when you're in a position fighting off against one of the best players, you need to do a lot more work to kill those villagers. And that's what I love about this format. You get to be Deepshine, who raids the gold of Puppy Paw in another set, and of course kill a ton of villagers. Lyra, exactly the same. She gets to beat one of the top players in the world, and that's what this is all about, making sure that they are performing up to scratch on all of those. Now, what we're going to do is take a quick look here at the bracket so you guys can see what matches are waiting for us for the rest of the day. So right now we are sitting here in round 3, and Puppy Paw and Deepshine, we know that they're 1 up. Now, on the other side, Beastie on Oasis, I wonder how that one is going. I can only imagine it being top tier quality because Oasis, she's so great with communication, and Beastie, he loves to yap. So between the two of those, there's definitely a lot of communication happening.
It was really fun yesterday listening into Meoasis and Wham's games. I know it didn't quite come through for them in the end, but that was one that was not so silent when you joined in on the comms, and it was really interesting to hear, similar to Puppy Paw, behind the minds of a pro player, thinking of things on the fly, coming up with things on the fly, and Meoasis asking the questions and trying to analyze the game in the chaos of it, which such it is in team games and 2v2s, on the ladder, let alone when you're in a tournament situation. So that would be a fantastic one to keep an eye on, and I think for both of those players as well throughout the rest of the day and the tournament. Whereas the game we have now, I'm very interested to see, particularly for B and Lyra, how that's going to go in terms of communication and in terms of how they can bring it back from a 1-0 deficit.
And we did get a little